Exercising with the XBAR beats free weights every time. It's no secret the XBAR uses resistance bands. And when you think of bands, you think of these tiny little plastic things that are generally used for recovery purposes. How's that going to build muscle? It's not. The XBAR, on the other hand, comes with up to 480 pounds of resistance. Take a look at our massive orange bands on the scale. Now, the scale only measures one side, so you double it for the total resistance. Notice how it's pushing well over 60 pounds of resistance at the peak. That means it's over 120 pounds for a single band. And you can use several of these at the same time. Well, if you're strong enough, you can. All right, so I obviously proved the XBAR comes with comparable resistance to what you would use at the gym. But how is it better than free weights? Well, let's just start with safety. I'm sure you'd agree that many injuries happen from just taking the weight from the weight rack to the machine you're using. You have none of that with bands. 480 pounds of bands weighs about 7 pounds. Now, if you've ever used bands before, you would know the further you stretch them, the more resistance you get. Now, at first, this might sound like a flaw because you're not getting the same amount of resistance throughout the entire range of motion. And that's what we're all used to from using free weights for years. Now, some people think with bands, the resistance somehow stops at the top of the rep. As you can see, the resistance increases at the top, it doesn't stop. Now, why in the world would you want the resistance to increase throughout the rep instead of just staying the same throughout the rep? And it's because it goes with your natural strength curve. When you're lifting, let's say you're doing some curls. When you go to failure, it's always at the beginning of the rep. If you had somebody, help you lift it just a couple inches, you can go, midway of the rep all the way up, no problem at all, because you haven't fatigued the medium and top part of your strength curve. So the farther you are into a rep, the stronger you actually are. So bands are awesome because that increase in resistance matches up with your increase in strength. So the problem with free weights is your bottleneck at your weakest point instead of your medium and your high end of your strength curve. And what makes the XBAR so much superior than working out with free weights is that not only can you max out your weak points, but you could max out your entire strength curve, starting from where you're strongest, your mid-range, and where you're weakest. And you just can't do that by yourself with free weights, and that's why a lot of guys go to the gym and they have a workout buddy that spots for them. The XBAR does that naturally without anybody there to help. And the amazing thing about the XBAR is it costs less than 3 months membership at a decent gym, and you can have it for life. And if you think about the cost over a year, it's like 52 cents a day to own the XBAR. So you have to try this yourself. You'll love it. Just go to xbar.com and get yours today.